Hey there, collective. Briefly, I just want to talk about the power of manifestation. And sometimes you are manifesting and you don't even know it. When we talk about how your thoughts create your reality, that's your manifestation. If you focus on something enough, it can come into fruition. So that's why it's always recommended to just be careful of your thoughts. Even if you're in a place of maybe not feeling the best, just understand that the more you allow yourself to be in a certain space, that space will continue. And it is a powerful thing, and everyone can manifest. It's just that the more conscious and aware and more targeted you are and focused on what you want, you may have better results. There are many ways to do this. I encourage you to look online. People write things down repeatedly for a certain amount of days. Um, you can actually think of something, imagine it happening, imagine the feels around it, what you would be like in that moment. And if you do that enough, a lot of the times you can manifest. And sometimes there are those who are so good at manifesting and they're not even realizing what they're doing, but things come to them that they think of or that they want. And they're truly gifted individuals because some people do have to practice that. The difference is that one person can not even be conscious and aware of what they're doing, and the other one is trying so hard. One of the things about manifestation that's really important is that once you feel that feeling, or once you get into the zone of knowing what you want and wanting to achieve it, either writing it out or even just thinking about it, once you've reached that pinnacle of that feel of knowing that you've done what you needed to do for it to come into your life, then you have to just let it go and let it happen. And I want to also encourage that in your manifesting, be careful to not try to rush anything. Because when you rush the universe, sometimes you might get something that might not be everything that you wanted, right? But you felt so resolute in the fact of what you wanted that it didn't matter when it came. And you also have to understand the power of divine timing. Side note, I remember there was this time where I was deep into watching videos, more so because I honestly was not at the top of what I considered being the tarot reader that I was. And I was relying a lot on videos. And one of the things that kept happening is I kept hearing that my partner was coming. I was listening to that for a while. And I want to encourage you that sometimes if you're hearing the same story over and over and over again in these readings, maybe it's just time to take a break from the readings, because you can constantly hear something and then you're looking at your life around you and you're not really seeing the change, and it can cause impatience. And the thing is, things do work in the background. There are bits and parts that are moving to all to bring in that moment, and you're not going to be able to see that. I just encourage you, though, that if you're seeing the same story, the same thing, and you're not seeing that change, but you're hearing about it from other readers that you might be looking at, step back from the readings, because maybe you've reached the point where now it is just about divine timing and you don't want to rush it. I know I said side note earlier, but back to that side note. So there was a time where I was hearing all of these stories, and the main thing for me at that time was, I felt I was ready to be in a relationship. And I never forget, there was one moment where I had had enough. And I had been hearing this for a good 2 months, if not more, 2, 3 months, that, my partner was coming in and there were things that were going on in my partner's life, but that person was coming. And I just remember after hearing it for so long, I finally understood the telepathy of it all. And I remember speaking out loud to my partner, hurry up and come. I am tired of this. I need you to come. Whatever is going on in your life, I do not care. I need you to show up now. Come on. This is getting ridiculous. And I was very serious. And that person could have been right in front of me. That's how much I was talking to my partner that was supposed to be coming in that did not come in. I'll never forget it. And I also never forget that I was so on it. And I was just so determined to get my point across these airwaves, these telepathic airwaves. I was so determined to reach this person in the 5D because I knew this person was in my energy, right? Before you see them, they are in your energy if you were connected. That is why sometimes when you are apart and you can be thinking the same thing, and it's only the tip of the iceberg when you think of somebody and then call you. That is the tip of the iceberg, but know that is also part of this journey, right? Where you can connect with someone in the 5D before even the 3D hits. But I just remember almost in a scolding tone. And then I think you need to be careful about that. You need to be careful in the tone that you use when you're manifesting or speaking to your partner telepathically. You need to understand that all of those feelings, they will come into fruition somehow. And maybe that's also manifesting a way of communication. Who knows? I'm not an expert. What I will say is that I never forget that I said that, and I said, come on, I'm ready for you. Collective, when I tell you, it was literally like the next day that communication was made. It was like the next day. Your thoughts matter. What you speak matters. And if something is coming your way, I encourage you to be patient and ready to receive. Who knows? The partner that I called up, the partner that heard that in my voice, the partner that heard the impatience, that one showed up. Perhaps that was not the right one, but that was the one that heard something in me that related and just was called up. Maybe the one that needed to come was not ready, and I forced something that should not have been forced. And it appeared, it came into fruition, but it was not for me. Not for me at that time. I encourage you right now to manifest, but I also encourage you to believe in divine timing and know that when you are manifesting, you need to put it out there and then just sit and wait, no matter how long it comes or no matter how long it takes to come. It may be a month. It may be 2 months. It may be 3 months. It could even be 6 months. But you do want what you have waited for and not what you have pulled into your life. Let it come. Put what you want out there and then be patient enough with yourself to let it come the right way. Because when you push too much, something may come, but it may not be exactly what you wanted. And you can have what you want. You just have to meet God halfway. Do your part and then have faith and trust that God will do His. Talk soon, Collective.